Welcome everybody to League Zero. I'm Joe Razor, joined here by Sai, and we have a matchup here in between the bench and mob mentality.
Yeah, definitely a really interesting matchup. Now, coming into this, if you are keeping up with all the stats and the standings for the last couple of weeks, you at this point you have an understanding that this might be a really one-sided matchup, especially for mob mentality. It coming in, taking hot. They are one of the higher seeds, and where bench has been pretty much on the bottom seed for the uh, entirety of this tournament so far. 0 wins, 5 losses, and only 1 map win. So that really stands out. But I'm here really looking at this mob mentality at the very top right now with 4 wins, 1 loss, and map differential with having literally 14 map wins and 5 map losses. So those are some really astonishing numbers that they're putting up. So I'm expecting a very one-sided matchup. But if you are the bench right here, this is a very good learning opportunity. You want to try the things you think maybe you'll have a chance, or at least give it a try, see how they go, and maybe take this as a learning opportunity. I don't know, Joe, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I'm thoughts that this will be a 3-0. I'm saying we will be out here before the clock hits 8:30.
Eesh.
I think I love the people on the bench, but mob mentality is such a good team. I mean, only dropping one game this entire season to they dropped their their only game they dropped was a 3-2 to if I'm not mistaken it was Content Credence. I could be wrong there, but like, so really just they're the best team in intermediate by far here. It's going to be an early dive up to the point there. The Sim TP is going to come through, and that's an opening pick there. Phone's going to take down Empty Grin. That's such a big opening pick there. The Monkey's heading into the backline. They're putting some pressure there onto the Reinhardts. They're going to be forced pack. That's not how you want to start. The Lucio's going to set himself off the edge there, and they're just going to clean it up, and they're going to manage to cap up the point.
Oh, that was a very fast cap, and we talked about, you mentioned the pick coming out before the fight even started. Now, if you're looking at mob mentality, they don't have the mobility as the bench do. They brought out the Symmetra teleport, got into the point faster, but it just didn't matter. But now look at that. Red Knight's ultimate is building, and this next fight could be very messy.
Yeah. Right, it's building up very close to the ult there. Empty Grin has now switched over onto the Sombra. So of course, starting on the Symmetra, but the Shatter's nice. It's going to have many players onto the ground there. It's going to allow them to get the opening pick, and then the Coalescence on the back to help burn through the remaining players. And they're just going to clean up. Cease is going to pick up 2 kills there with 2 ultimates. The bench are going to manage to flip back over the point.
Yeah, and I like the ultimate usage right there from Pivot, just landing a clear shatter after realizing Red Knight does not have his shield anymore. And what I really like about mob mentality, they just retreated. They did not blow any ultimates. Now look at that. They're coming with almost 3, if not 4 ultimates if they could build it right now. Red Knight has Primal Raid, and ooh.
Yeah, the Blossom's going to get dropped there from Cease. It's not going to result in any kills. This Pivot's going to pin on in. Empty Grid's going to manage to get the DMAC, which could be a huge opening. There's the Fire Strike's going to set up through, and then Kilroy gets killed mid-EMP, but Foe drops the Blossom in the back. It's going to manage to pick up 2, make that 3 kills there. Cease does get the kill on Red Knight, so this is still looking good there for the bench, but Foe is trying to put his team in there on the back there. Pivot is being brought down low as Cease is going to fall, and they're going to manage to do it. They're starting the fight down 3 players. Foe comes up huge to carry his team through the fight, and they're going to manage to flip back over the point. Oh, actually not quite. They could have managed to get attacked, but there it is.
And look at that. If you are the bench right now, you're kind of happy with that, because look, Kilroy actually lost his EMP in the last fight, and without getting too much value. And now look at that. Seized has another ultimate online, considering that Empty will get his EMP. So this next fight could be really huge for the bench coming in.
Yeah, but the Shatter once again is massive with nothing to really block the Shatter. He's getting so much value. Panera Panini is going to fall to the D.Va Bomb as the Grab's going to get thrown in on top of 3 players there, and they're just going to clean it up. That's 2 kills, and the bench are going to manage to flip back over the point, looking good here to start off map 1.
Oh, yes, and they're just looking stronger and stronger. Look at the ultimate economy coming in from the bench right now. Empty is sitting on a EMP, and Seized had the Death Blossom, and that is a very deadly combo if you're asking me. But look at that. On high ground, they're having a little skirmish, but looks like they're all ready to press their Qs.
Yeah, they're all ready to pop their ultimates there. So they're going to go a bit of aggressive here, trying to hold at this choke. There's the EMP. Good. It's going to hit everybody except one player, which happens to be the Lucio. So he managed to drop the B. The Blossom does manage to pick up a kill and a DMEC there. Red Knight is soon to fall as well. Kilroy's going to manage to trade out onto the Sombra, but that's not going to be enough, as they're going to push everybody back, as Skill Orb's going to find a kill. And they're just going to manage to hold on here. This is last fight territory.
Yeah, look at that, 80% and more building up, and now it all comes down to Kilroy. They need to hit this EMP on the enemy Lucio, who is Panera Panini, and if he could hide from this EMP, this will be a huge win for Bench.
Yeah, if he can manage to dodge the EMP, as the Shatter Sneaks is going to hit one player, but Pivot's going to fall. The EMP and the Blossom gets dropped on point. There's so many ultimates being used here from the side of Mob Mentality, as they're going to manage to get a couple of kills here. 3 ultimates used in that fight, however, for the Bench. It was a horrible fight there for Mob Mentality, so they're going to flip over.
And you just, it's so sad to see that, Bench did make the call of using the beat, where all 3 players were already down at that point. So they could have just held on to this beat coming into this fight right here, which have actually aided them much more. But look at that. They're getting started with the skirmish already.
Yes, they're just trying to get kind of some positioning there on the side. Empty-Grid's going to get hacked up and taken down by Kilroy. That's a huge opening pick there, which means he's not going to be able to build up to his EMP. But they're going to just have to push forward onto the point there. Red Knight does end up falling, however, so Graf's going to get dropped. Pivot's going to manage to get a kill there. The DMEC's going to come through, but the Demon Bomb's there to try to get him back into the Mac. He's going to manage to get the kill on Exterior, which is massive there. Losing your Zarya in this composition is terrible. Cease is going to fall as well, so they're going to flip over as 99 to 99 here. Silver Pulse does manage to get the kill onto the Moira. Empty Grid's going to fall. Pivot soon to follow. This is looking phenomenal here for Mob Mentality. It's just Silver Trolls that's going to pop the Coalescence. He's not going to manage to clutch it up this time, as they're going to flip it over. Not quite, actually. Seriator returning the ball to touch the point. The beat's going to get dropped, and this is going to be most likely it here, unless we can see a last-minute touch, as Mob Mentality are going to take the first point here on Lijiang.
Oh, that was so close, and I have to give it to Bench for putting up the fight that they did. They definitely made this match, or at least the first round, look quite close, if we're being honest right now. But losing the Zarya at the very last point was to a bomb was probably the biggest thing that really hindered them from taking that match over, because once you lose the Zarya, you just cannot bubble your Reinhardt, and your Reinhardt just gets popped by Phone, who's just a walking death machine, just blasting away his shotguns at your face. So I think, if the Zarya could stay alive, if Seriator could stay alive in that situation, that would have been a huge win for them. But look at that. They're going for more of a Shadow Dive composition. Both teams playing a very mirror composition right now. So a lot of them, mobility from both sides. Let's see who gets to the point first and gets the most ultimate charge.
Yeah, that's a huge opening pick. And Hugo just takes down the Lucio, getting a bit too over aggressive there. Looks like he wants to go for a boot there. Pivot does get traded out, so losing your main take is not how you want to start these fights. His phone's going to manage to pick up 2 kills, and this has happened so many times. The Bench have had the opening pick, but then Mob Mentality just come back stronger and come back with the big counter punch just to take down the Bench players, that they're going to manage to cap up the point here first.
Yeah, and Joe, it's almost as it feels like, the Bench gets the opening pick and they just lose their mind. It was like, oh my god, winning condition, and everybody just jumps at them. And look at that, Panera Panini actually catches up Phone, which is pretty huge. But then, I feel like every time Bench are getting these opening picks, they just go berserk without a actual focusing a single target, where our Mob Mentality has a much better control of that.
Yeah, for sure there. So on the bridge here, he's going to get hacked up, which looks like Mob Mentality want to push forward onto that. But Coalescence is going to come off from both sides. That's a great boop, but he's going to not manage to TP back onto the high ground. His phone's going to fall there. Red Knight could be caught being a bit too over aggressive there. He's going to fall low, but he's going to get taken down. So this is looking great here for the side of the Bench. With that opening pick with the boop, they might be able to manage to push forward, but the Diva Bomb is there. It's not going to result in any kills, however, and they're just going to clean up and flip over the point here around 45%.
Oh, you have to give it to Panera Panini for being the better man right there, just making those plays, getting Phone out of the fight. That's just so much damage lost from the side of Mob Mentality. And look at that, they only have 2 ultimates to work with coming into this fight. Another pick on Phone. They're just not letting this man breathe at all. Now, if you look at it, the Bench have a lot of ultimates to come in. This is going to be a very explosive fight, the next one.
Yeah, so a lot of ultimates here coming from both sides. Both sides are going to have the EMP Blossom, which is probably the biggest ultimate combo here in this kind of meta that we've kind of seen developed here over this patch. And the EMP is going to strike first for the side of Mob Mentality. They're just going to push forward. No counter EMP comes out. Cease is going to fall. The beat's going to get dropped from Panera Panini as the Demon Bomb is going to get thrown in. Not going to result in any kills here. So still a player advantage, but as soon as I say that, Kilroy's going to get taken down to even things out a bit. The Coalesce is going to come out from Silver Trolls as the beat gets dropped for the side of Mob Mentality, but Folk with his Blossom's going to manage to find 2 kills there. Pivot with the Primal Rage on point is going to get taken down. It's just Cease and Panera Panini, and they're not going to be able to do anything, and they're going to flip the point back over eventually after they take down the pesky Lucio.
Yeah, that was definitely a hard call to make right there, but I like what the bench did. They held on to their EMP Death Blossom combination, realizing that they had lost the fight early. Now, this is their chance to really come back and utilize this ultimate combo and get the most out of it. So now they have to, there's no beat on the other side. Ooh, this could be huge.
And it is! There, Panini falls, but Syrian actually managed to take down the Baby Diva before they can get back into the mech. Phone gets taken down as well, but the poop off the edge is going to result in
Oh my god!
The triple kill for Red Knight with the Primal Rage. He's just gonna boop everybody off the edge. Bit of a Primal Rage diff there. Wow.
Wow, it looked so good for the bench starting off, but they just, that Primal Rage from Red Knight was just immaculate. Just, bringing them back to the point and setting the bench back. And now look at this. Kilroy is just hanging around at the back. His ultimate is charging. He's looking for a hack right now.
Yeah, he's going to be forced to translocate back to his team there. So he's looking to build up his EMP. But as that's a nice hack there. And he's just going to get demacked. But the Blossom in the back for Cease is not going to manage to result in any kills quite yet. But the EMP is there for Kilroy. Phone's going to fall. But Syria just going to get demacked as the B gets dropped for the side of Mob Mentality. Silvertoad's going to pop his Coalesce to try to keep his team up. But Cease is going to manage to get a kill onto Red Knight. That's looking good here for the bench. They're going to manage to get the reback on the side of Mob Mentality. But it's not really going to matter with their Moira falling. The Lucio has returned to the fight now, but I don't think it's going to matter, really, as Mob Mentality, bench, excuse me, we're going to manage to flip back over here at 99.
Yeah, that was quite a bit of expensive fight, as you've said, because now look at the ultimate economy. Only the tanks have Panera Panini has their ultimate available right now, so they have to play these next fights. Oh, looks like we do have a pause coming in, but the next fights that are going to go into playing this series, they have to play it quite perfectly, because look at the percentage right now is 66 to 99, and looks like we do have a disconnect from the side of the bench. Pivot currently just disconnected, so they do have some time to reconnect, and if they do so, we will wait until then. But other than that, like I was talking about, look at the percentage, Joe. It's 66 to 99. It's kind of basically at the last fight territory, and now if you are the bench, you have at least 2 more fights that you have to play out, and you have to play them perfectly if you want to take this, take this victory for this round home. And look at that, Syriator has his ultimate. Panera Panini has the ultimate. Sadly, Pivot will not have their ultimate if they come back. So unfortunately but we will wait it out until Pivot does join. So other than that, if you want to, is there anything you want to talk about, Joe? Because I know Phone has been a really, really crucial, pick for the side of Mob Mentality. This guy he does not care. He's ready to go up and just do as much as damage as possible, get people low, even execute them in a messy team fight. So I think Phone has been doing a really good job, and Kilroy and Red Knight are just enabling him, giving him all the space to work with.
Yeah, definitely. What I've really noticed here coming into these last remaining fights here is I'm very interested to see how Mob Mentality decides to approach this very next fight, because they're not going to quite have the EMP, but Panera Panini does have a sound barrier, so I wonder if Mob Mentality has managed to track the ults correctly. And if they have, then they'll know this. And so I'm kind of wondering if they try to bait out the Blossom, the sound barrier, excuse me, before they, and try to take like 2 fights here and go up against a 99-99 situation. Or if they really just want to try to take this final fight here, just try to win off the back of 1 fight. As it looks like Pivot has managed to rejoin, so managed to get back into the game sometime soon.
Yay. I always love watching Overwatch, and pause screen is not necessarily the stuff I want to watch. So getting people back into the game is definitely the case. But I like what you're talking about, Joe. Definitely, I think mob mentality coming into here, coming to this fight or this round, they are up in percentage, so they have more choices on how they want to play this out. They don't have to necessarily just win the next fight. They could stall it out, bait out some ultimates from the side of the bench, and then just go for maybe a Death Blossom or just a regular EMP. Because even if you can hit an EMP, knowing that the enemy Lucio has no ultimate, no ultimate to or beat to really cancel that out, then you could even just take on the fight from there. Killing people is so much easier when they don't have access to their passives or their skills. I'll tell you that right now. But looks like we are getting started, ladies and gentlemen, so hang in tight. And right now we're just waiting for mob mentality to they're back at the hunt again.
Yeah, they could just go at this fast because Pivot has to rejoin the fight, and Panera Panini's going to get cut off in the back there, out of position there. They're not going to have their sound barrier, and they're just going to go on off the back of this. Colas is going to come out, Fode's going to pop his Blossom. Bit unfortunate there for the side of bench, not really having their Monkey for a majority of that fight there. The Diva Bomb from Incinerator's not going to be able to do anything. Panera Panini will be returning to the fight now, but... he just sets himself off the edge.
No.
Could have got picked off as well, so he's not able to touch. That's very unfortunate. As Mob Mentality will take map 1.
Yeah, and that's just so sad to see because Pivot did not have his ultimate and he was all the way at the back. So it was just not possible. They just went at it. But look at this triple kill right here, I believe, from all Boops coming in. The Primal was just so beautiful, playing around the bridge, even if getting hacked. Yeah, look at that, just booping everybody off. It's just, I love watching players like Lucio players and players who generally have a lot of CC, the boop CCs, play around that entire bridge, because that bridge is just so dangerous if you know what you're doing. A lot of good Lucio players usually do a little wall right around the side and just come up and boop you by surprise. But I always love watching good Winston Primal Rages. It's just a very hard ultimate to use, but if you use it properly, it definitely goes a long way. But look at that. Now, this is a map choice from the side that lost. So, bench will be choosing this map, and they are going to Hanamura for their choice of 2CP. Now, looks like they will be inside of attack. How do you think they could approach this, Joe? If you are against mob mentality, you just played a game against them. What do you think the best way to really go about this?
Yeah, Hanamura is definitely a harder map to attack than it is to defend. And so I'm very interested to see if either side wants to pull out the Mei here. The Mei, of course, had a small buff recently. She's been nerfed a lot over time, but recently she's got a small buff. And so I'm interested to see if they're going to try to use that to use the Mei here on the attack and the defense. It can really be used on both sides to their advantage.
Yeah, there's so many things you could do, especially in Hanamura. But I like the Mei pick that you're talking about, because the Mei entrance for Hanamura first point is that little choke point. So you could really utilize and abuse Mei right there, just walling off people, cutting people off. A lot of it was really seen around a couple of seasons back, where people used to play so much Mei, where you just stand on the side, make sure your teammates are calling out who's passing through and what, and cut off the Reinhardt or the main tank and just kill him as soon as possible. So maybe something we'll see, or maybe even I've seen a couple of teams play Pharah in this map, and that was just really amazing to watch, because I always love some good Pharah plays and see how teams react to that. But look, we're just waiting for all the R's in the chat to come on from both teams, but as soon as they do, we will be launching into Hanamura as quickly as possible. Now, right here, bench looked quite impressive on the last round. I'm not going to lie, Joe. I thought it was going to be a landslide, and when I say a landslide, I really mean a landslide. Now, it's unfortunate that the bench have literally won only one map so far of all the games they played, but that last map, it looked quite close. I wonder if they could really upset, even if they take away a single map from mob mentality, this will be a huge success or a huge win from the bench coming in if you're looking at the records.
Yeah, for sure. The other games from the bench I've gotten to see, they haven't looked like a team that should have only won one map. They've played a lot of these teams very close. When they're played against some of the worst teams in Inter. They seem to play down to their competition. But when they're playing against a team like the bench, they always seem to play up to their competition. But they're never enough to apparently even get a map win.
Yeah, this just feels like the whole Shanghai Dragons storyline all over again, where they looked strong enough, but they just couldn't take it, couldn't make it. But I think so far how the bench are looking, they're looking quite strong. They look unified, much more unified than they did before. So if they could take it upside right here, it would look amazing. But look at this from the defense side, we're seeing some very interesting pick. Kilroy on that Soldier, definitely Soldier had a buff, so he's much better right now to play if you can aim and just really control that recoil. But what I really like
if you can't aim, okay, I don't care about any other analyst stuff you plan to do here. Saying it takes no aim to play Soldier is the hottest take I've heard. That's a scolding hot take.
That's definitely true. If you are good with them, you could definitely do it. You'll definitely do it. I believe it. I believe it. And look at that. You talked about the Mei, and we see the Mei coming out from Seized. And we're looking at a Symmetra, so all the way just, a straight ticket to the point itself. I wonder how Phone and Kilroy will really react to that. But I'm liking the Zenyatta and the whole, setup that they have with the... Oh, look at that. They're already all set up going through the back of the map.
Yeah, they're going to teleport around the side here, and they're going to use the Mei wall to buy him some space and just get on top of this point here. The Hog's Feet, though, can still get some opening picks. The hook is there, but the MO field is there to keep everybody up for now, but it's going to get broken down as it's a decent decent accretion, but they're already going to have the Ant Matrix. It's going to be up there. His phone's going to fall, but Seriator has managed to get taken down as well. They're going to manage to get the res up onto Phone, but Silver Troll is going to come with 2 more kills there. 3 kills there in the fight. He's popping off here on a character he can have so much more impact with. But the duplicated Reinhardt's going to manage to get a shatter already. He's going to manage to get 2 kills there in the duplicate. The empty grid, however, is going to manage to take down one player here. This is such a back and forth fight. Phone on the point here is going to manage to get a 5th kill. He's really popping off, holding down to this point for his team there in the bench. You're going to get finally set back to spawn.
Wow, that was a really well played fight by Phone right here. He was just hovering around, doing as much as damage as possible, and as soon as they built up their ultimate, they went behind the entire team, duplicated themselves as Reinhardt, just landed this nice pin with the shatter. So it's really interesting to see how they're playing around, but now it looks like they're just going back to the comfort pick, pivot being on the the whole Shadow Dive composition, running the Sombra and the Reaper. But now let's see, this is how I want to see how Kilroy and Phone play around this composition, because they could be dope very easily.
Yeah, for sure.
It just looks like they just want to make the rotation happen and want to go into the point. Oh, that's the goal. No hook.
Yeah, they're going to try to just push on the point. There's a decent hook as well. The Flux is going to come out. It's going to manage to pick up 3 players there. They're going to slam them down as Phone's going to manage to find another 2 kills there. As the Echo picks really coming up massive.
Oh, definitely coming out massive. Phone just blasting everyone with their ability, just making sure no one gets even a chance to breathe. And look at that, Red Knight now has a ultimate. Oh my god, if you look at the ultimate economy right now, this is ridiculous. Red Knight has access to the ultimate. Phone has another duplicate. Kilroy has been holding onto his aimbot, for the last 2 fights, and Zenyatta has Transcendence. So I don't think I just can't see a way that the bench could win this team fight coming up. They have to just take their loss and burn as many ultimates as possible from the opponent side.
Yeah, definitely. Here, not really having any ults coming into this fight. Silver Trolls does have the Coalescence, but that's about it. Ceased has moved over onto the McCree. Not sure when that happened. The Coalescence is going to come out, and they're going to push forward on the point. And Phone's going to get taken down, which is a huge opening pick there. Pollock is going to come out. Ceased is going to manage to pick up 2 kills. This is looking phenomenal here for the side of the bench here with 2 opening picks. But this Hog's Feet comp has a lot of clutch potential, and it's starting to display that now. So they're going to manage to get the kill into Panera, Panini, and Cease. The Transcendence is going to come out as well, trying to keep everybody up here on the side of Mob and Tally. The hook is decent. And it's gonna manage to actually take him down. Pivot's gonna get another kill there. Phone's gonna manage to get a kill before pulling out the duplicate there onto the D.Va. Phone's gonna manage to find another kill. There's the beat's gonna come up from Panera Panini, try to keep everybody up for now. The duplicated D.Va bombs on the point. It's not gonna result in any kills, however, he's gonna go back into the Echo form. No kills yet here for either side as we're entering under 10 seconds. This is looking desperate here for the side of the bench, but they're going to manage to take down Kilroy. But the boop off the edge onto Curator could be good here for the side of Mob Mentality, as this is still buried back and forth, but only 3 players alive for them, as the Colas is going to come out from Silver Toes, but the hook's good from Red Knights. He's going to manage to take down the Sombra on their side. Silver Toes is going to manage to get one with the Colas.
Oh,
the
no,
Flux
not
is
the
there.
Flux.
The Fluxes could be massive here. They're going to manage to take down Pivot. This is looking good here for Mob Mentality. This Hog's Feet comp has so much clutch potential, as they're going to drop the sound barrier and pop the visor there. So they're going to try to shred through the remaining players here on the side of the bench here. Cease is going to fall. Curator's going to fall as well. And this is looking great here. The EMP's there, but there's nobody to follow up on it. And that's going to be it here for the bench's attack. As soon as they take down the remaining players.
It's just like you're talking about, the clutch potential from Mob are just so high right there. I have to give the bench, they tried multiple times to go around. They never really took a traditional, just a front up approach to the point. They always try to rotate around the point, either from the back or the side front side, but it just never really seemed to work, because by the time they even rotate to the point, they're just taking so much damage from the Echo and from the soldier spam. And not to mention, if Red Knight gets a good hook, that's pretty much over for their push. So I think when it comes down to really mobility wise and just getting to the point itself, that's where they were really lacking and having the most trouble, because they're just getting spammed down every single time. Now it looks like they are going to play the spam game themselves, seized on that Ash and Empty, getting on that soldier. That's a lot of damage just getting flown across the map towards their opponent, who are the Mob right now. But Kilroy has an answer if he stays on that Doomfist. Doomfist has some great potential to just fling himself across the map, go to a target he desired, and just burst them down as soon as possible. So if Kilroy plays properly and phone on that Reaper, will be a great threat. I think bench has a lot to work with here, but if you are Mob Mentality, you're definitely coming into this quite confident, because look at that, you only have to take 1.5 tick basically.
Yeah, the only issue here with running the Doomfist, which of course they have swapped off on, is that you can just get hooked on very easily. So they're just going to decide to run the Shadow Dive here, which I think could be a very good solution. But this Hog's Feet comp is still very powerful.
Definitely, because you could just easily CC lock people so quickly. One rock hits and that's the easy hook coming out from Hog. So like I said, they're aware of the spam and they're trying to avoid it as much as possible, looking for an opening to really go on.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of time there. It's from the side. Red Knight's going to manage to break through finally, dive onto the back line there, as Pivot's going to fall early, and this is a huge opening pick there. Curator is going to manage to take down Quirpy, which could be beneficial here for the side of the bench. They're going to also manage to take down Phone there, and this was such a long fight here for Mob Mentality. They wrapped around trying to take so much space, and that fight took a minute off the clock.
Wow, and they ended up winning that fight. So if you are the bench right here, you're very happy. And look at that, Quirpy, they are getting delayed so much. If they could catch Quirpy off guard right here, that would be huge. Oh, wait, what happened?
The damage boosted Ash shot onto Kilroy, and then Curator just finished him off.
Oh, that must have been an unlucky shot, just revealed him. But now they have to wait again until Kilroy is able to join the fight. And that's so much time burnt off. Literally only one fight, and they're just already almost down to 2 minutes. And look at that, they're trying to rotate around again, trying to avoid as much as spam possible. But Seized has Bob ready to roll out. So when in doubt, just spray it out. That's what the game plan is right now for the bench right here. But look at that, Kilroy is just hanging on to the back, trying to get a hack off the Zenyatta Silver. And if they could just delete the Zenyatta, that's a huge healing gun.
Yeah, so they're going to drop the Bob onto the point there. Colas is going to come out here. But the EMP is in the back as well, as Silver Toes has fallen very early. And without that done, it's going to become much harder. Pivot falls as well, and this is looking good here for the side of Mob Mentality. First with the blows. Sista had used his shotgun to get back onto the map when he just fell into
That's
the blow.
pretty much it.
That's going to be it here for map 2. Mob Mentality are going to take Hanamura.
It's literally what I talked about at the very beginning. I talked about how Kilroy was just hanging around the back of the map, just trying to get silver, and that's what really happened. He got the hack on silver, and Red Knight just dove him and instantly deleted him. No trans, no nothing, just going. But look at that play of the game right here, hitting that big flex coming out from Jula, just annihilating everyone and getting Phone a chance to just shoot everyone in the air, just deleting them as soon as possible. Like literally, the moment they hit the ground, they evaporated from all the damage.
Yeah, Jula had a phenomenal has had a phenomenal game so far there, especially on that Sigma on the last map, getting so much work done. But even on the D.Va there, on their attack and on the first map, just doing so much work.
Yeah, a lot of times D.Va players do get underlooked because you don't see them do anything flashy all the time, like Sigma, like Hog, and whatnot. But the amount of damage they negate is a very big part of their composition. And Jula was always there, ready to put themselves in front of anybody else, just negating as much as damage possible with that defense matrix, or even just soaking up damage with that armor and health you have with D.Va Mech. So I think it really allowed Red Knight and Phone to just step forward and get as much as damage off. And now it looks like we do have some changes coming out from both teams, actually. From the side of Mob Mentality, you will see Kami getting swapped out for Kilroy, and from the side of Bench, a tank switch up where Zed is getting swapped out for, I believe... There you go, Pivot. I just escaped the mind. Maybe Pivot was lagging after joining. Who knows? But now looks like the next map will be hybrid, and Hollywood is none better map to watch out for. And I really like to talk about Hollywood right now. It's one of my favorite maps to watch because of how much, how much difference the map actually provides. If you are looking from a viewer's perspective or even player's perspective, right? Hollywood has such a good mix of different terrains. You have first point where just a close quarter matchup where you have to look out for a lot of little holds, upground contest and whatnot. And then you go to the whole entire thing where you have to push the cart to the second point. That's a whole different terrain. You have these tall buildings, tall latches and catwalks that you have to watch out for snipers and even like ambushes and whatnot. And then you have the whole third point where it's just an enclosed space again, but you could play around with flanks, different flanks, and so many rotations and stuff. So I love seeing Hollywood. Always love seeing some sniper battles coming in here, which is probably not going to happen considering the meta we're in and this composition being run. But I'm still excited to see these two, teams play, because even though we said it will be a landslide, it's actually not that bad. The Bench are putting up a good amount of fight.
Yeah, first map more than the second.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, second map was kind of a bit of a roll there. They had a lot of good moments, but not really able to close out situations. Yeah, but like you said, on the side of Bench, full tank line swap was Zed and C team coming in there, trying to maybe revitalize this team here on their map pick.
Maybe they have something cheeky lined up for us right here. Maybe they practice something in scrims that we don't know about with this tank lineup, running maybe the Hawk Fit or even something else that we haven't seen so far. So I'm excited to see maybe not the traditional Zarya or Winston or Reinhardt run, but you don't really have a lot of choice when you're playing tank unless you do bring on the Hammond. I've seen some people do get away with some good Hammond play. That's always fun to watch. It's a very destructive play, but I don't think a tank lineup like Red Knight or even a DPS lineup like Phone will let you get away with that. They will find a way to stun that Hammond and kill him as soon as possible.
Yeah. We have another substitution there for the side of Bench. Nebula is going to get subbed in.
Yeah, and I believe Aurora is also a sub coming out from their side.
Am
I mistaken?
That is right. Panera Panini has been subbed out.
So a lot of subs coming in. That's almost the whole entire team.
Yeah, the only player remaining is Silver Tolls and Empty Grin.
Yeah, sad. But definitely interested to see what they do with this whole switch up. Or maybe it could be also the hard truth where they know they will lose this map, so they're just trying to give all the bench players or the secondary players a chance to play a game or get some practice in. So that's always something a lot of teams do when they know they cannot defeat a team. They usually sub people out to just give them a chance to play the game or get a feel for it and whatnot. But looks like from Mom mentality, they're sticking strong. There's just only one change coming through. And other than that, they're just going in. We're just waiting for some R's to roll out, and we'll be joining in right now.
Welcome
Huh.
to Hollywood.
So you talked about this matchup being super quick. And just to remind you guys, this is a last seed versus first seed matchup.
Yeah.
So Mob Mentality are currently at first seed with 4 wins, one loss. And when it comes to map, they've taken 14 maps and only lost 5 map. Where if you are on the other side of the ring, we have Bench, who have 0 win, 5 losses, and only 1 map win. So, even if they could take a map win right here, this would mean a lot. But I don't know if that'll be quite possible. Looks like we are jumping in. Phone is on his, I wouldn't say a signature hero, but definitely a pocket pick that we have been seeing from him quite often for the last couple of weeks is the Echo pick. I think he's doing a great job playing this Echo, just hovering around the entire enemy team and just annoying, being the annoying fly that just flutters around, just bothering you. That's what he's been doing. And then when it comes time for him to shine, he does that duplicate ultimate and does tremendous damage to the other team. But look at that. Looks like they're running a Ashe Hanzo composition. Now this is a very
It's a great
pick. Yeah, it's a great comp, but you have to rely on picks and poking a lot. So if they can't do that, they will fall behind here.
Second point, Hollywood. Second and first point, Hollywood is kind of dominated by the double sniper comp, but that hook there from Red Knight's just gonna allow C Team to get it blown up immediately there. But like you said a bit earlier, phone on this Echo is something they seem to really like to run there while running the Hog's Feet, as Red Knight's just going to get hooked on in there. Tickline just dismantle. That's just a hard reset. As Empty Grin's going to take it down as well from True Donger.
True Donger just, deleting him across the map with that left click, I believe. Just getting those headshots. But yeah, that's one thing to definitely observe, that they like to run this Echo matchup with the Hog Feet composition, and it's quite annoying to deal with because you have to just deal with so many things that are just coming at you, so much damage coming out from so many different angles. Oh, look at that. Brilliant ultimate coming out.
Yeah, they already have to duplicate, but he's immediately blown out of it there, not able to get any value really. Just immediately hooked and blown up there. It's on the high ground. Bench have really taken some nice positioning as that hits the hook there. Take down Corpy, so you can't res that because that is the Mercy, of course. And Phone's going to fall as well soon, so this is looking great here for Bench, but the Hog's Feet comps have a lot of clutch potential. Zed's going to get taken down there from Red Knights. Bomb's going to get thrown onto the point there. The Transcendence is there from Silvertails, trying to keep everybody up for now, and it looks like it's doing its job very well there. True Donger's going to get taken down as the Flux is there. Maybe a bit of a waste, as Jula is just going to fall before you can even do anything with the Flux. The hook's going to come in, but Phone's the only one there on the point. He's going to manage to get a kill, but that's going to probably be it there. Spencer's just going to set up and cap point it.
Yeah, they don't really have the mobility to reach the point at this time. True Donger is on the Zenyatta, so no speed boost coming in, so they're just gonna let them have the point. And if you are the Bench, you're quite happy about that. You took this fight. It was quite messy. A lot of ultimates were invested, but nonetheless, you took the point. And now look at that. A Dragon Strike is available, and Zed has the whole Hog ultimate. So maybe another pick potential that could come here. Oh.
Speaking of pick, C-Team just blowed up there. And also a side note, as Phone is just popping off there with 3 kills. When I saw the elevator go up, it scared me because I forgot the elevators were so quick now. And look, and so when you just step on it, just shoots you up, and it just kind of terrified me. As that's a nice pick there on the Phone, however.
Yeah.
Again, an opening pick there, and it looks like Bench are gonna try to push in on this very fast. He's gonna manage to get res back up, but Red Knight's all alone there on the side. His FG Grin is gonna fall. The whole log's pop there to take down Red Knight, but high ground control is still going the way of the side of Mob Mentality here. but the Echo's going to drop there as he's going to pop his whole hog. There he is, use the duplicate onto the Roadhog, but Phone's going to get knocked out of it. Jula's going to manage to take down Silvertulls. They're going to manage to get the res up onto him. Nebula's going to pop the Dragon Strike there, but not going to manage to get any kills off the back of it. The Flux is there. It's going to hit 2 people, but the Transcendence, I thought was going to keep everybody up, but Quirky managed to go down even through the Transcendence as Silvertull's Transcendence now fading as well. Jula's going to fall as well there as Zed's going to fall low, but it looks like he's going to manage to stay up. His Phone's going to get taken down, and it was scrappy. It was hard, but it looks like the bench are finally going to get some control of this cart.
Yeah, that was so scrappy, and what I liked is Empty was pushing the cart the entire time. Well, at least the ending bits of the entire fight right there. That was so scrappy. I think Bob mentality. Oh, can Bob get any value off of this right there? Oh no, instantly ball.
The flank there from Kemi was almost massive. They're nearly taking down Empty.
Oh my God, Nebula!
A couple shots there. Nebula's gonna get 3 kills. They do manage to res up 1, so one of his kills is practically traded out there. Nebula's hitting his shots there, nearly taking down Jula, but the Bob's going to finish it off for him. And Nebula coming into this game is getting a lot of value there on the Hanzo.
Oh, a beautiful hook coming out. Another kill. Oh, Nebula, this man has just been on fire so far. Hitting those headshots and just chunking people down. Just such a big advantage coming out from the side of bench. And you talked about how this composition is so dominant coming into the first and second point, and we could see why, because of the long line sides. Look at that, just deletes the another fight starting up.
Yeah, Phone's gonna get taken down there as that's a nice shot from Nebula onto Kemi, who has now switched over onto the Tracer. Zed's gonna get rezzed up, however, as Quirky's just gonna get killed there by the Diamond, and Dynamite and Bench are looking good here with this different lineup here on Hollywood.
Yeah, definitely looking unstoppable so far. And look at the time bank. They still have 2 minutes and 50 seconds almost to work with. So if they could land some really good ultimates right here, this will be huge. Oh my God!
Silvertulls not allowed to play the game again. Silvertulls, the flex support first start here for Bench is going to come up with 2 kills there. Almost takes out Kemi again, as he's going to also pop a Transcendence to try to keep everybody up, but Zed's going to get taken down. There's the whole hog from Red Knight, gets a ton of damage, and Zed's gonna manage to get res back up as
that's a huge flux.
As the flux is massive there, it's gonna manage to take down Jula and C Team there. Kemi is gonna manage to take down Zen, but Float's getting chunked down there from Silvertulls, and this is looking great here. Kemi's gonna fall there onto Nebula as Empty Grin's Bob is going to manage to take him down as Silvertulls is going to manage to get another kill there. The Acrease is going to manage to take down Quirky as Red Knight has returned to the fight. They're on the ball. Jula's returned as well onto the Diva. Phone is back on the Bob as the Doomfist, excuse me, as the Tracer Pulse Bomb doesn't manage to get any kills there. Silvertulls is going to pick up 2 kills there. And they're just going to manage to cap up as soon as they can take down these stragglers. They're a decent stall coming out for Mob Mentality, but they're going to cap with 145.
Ooh, what a run from Bench. And if you are Bench, you are clapping right now, cheering your team. Please take this victory with all the celebration you can, because that was a very impressive run. Having 1 minute and 46 seconds, looking that dominant from literally first point to the entire end was just amazing. I love the fact that they play around the long line of sights, utilizing their double snipers, just chunking out, doing as much as spam damage possible. Obviously, Nebula popping off there, hitting all the headshots, and not to mention Silverchill coming clutch at the very end, hitting all the shots on Zenyatta. I mean, on the side of Mob Mentality, you don't have a lot of shield to work with, just a Sigma shield. So all that damage that's flying around from Nebula's Hanzo and Empty's Ash, it's pretty hard to keep that shield up if you are Mob Mentality. So I think the bench realized that they have the more damage coming into this, and they could just literally burn through the shield, and that's what they did. They didn't care. They stayed in front, just did as much as damage possible, and Zed was able to get those crucial hooks when they needed to. Now, it all comes down to how well the Mob Mentality could beat this time, and if even finish this point with more time and give us a map 4.
Yeah. This Hog's Feet comp with this double sniper is even better on the defense. So this isn't out of the question here that we say like a point B hold, because this comp is very good on the defensive point.
Oh
B.
yeah, you have so much high ground to work with here.
Yeah, it really can just kind of dominate on this defense. They're just gonna, as Mob Mentality just gonna kind of fly out of the roof here. They're going for a long rotate. trying to completely rotate behind. The only one staying behind is Kemi, who is on the Sombra. And they're just going to try to meet them here in this back. But the Sombra's creeping up from behind here, trying to crash onto Silver Tolls. As well as going to take down Nebula here to try to open up this fight. Zed's going to fall as well. They do manage to res up Nebula, but I don't think it's going to really matter as Aurora has fallen as well. C-Team does manage to get the kill on the phone, however. It's not going to matter as Mob Mentality just rolls over here, and they're going to cap point that.
Yeah, and I like what Mob Mentality did, right? That they expected this, feed composition with double snipers to come in. And they realized that, okay, we can't just take the go to the point like your traditional way, just approach the point. You're just going to get burst down and poked out. So they went all around did the long rotate because guess what? Team bench composition is very bad at close quarter fighting. And that just literally forces them to do close quarter fighting. Oh, look at that. Another skirmish.
Oh, he's going to get caught out. Red Knight tries to dive onto the high ground there. This double sniper Hogsmeade comp can really just dominate the high ground there. Nebula does manage to fall to Phone Hopper, which could be beneficial there. But so is Silver Tolls. Phone's popping off here, so he's going to manage to pick up 2 kills. Nebula's going to get rest back up, however, as True Donger's going to pop his Coalescence here, try to shred everybody down on the side of the bench, but Zed's going to come up with 2 kills. That's massive. They're fighting 2 kills there through the side of bench, which could help them so much. Is he going to get booped off the high ground now?
Yeah, but look at that. Phone has ultimate.
Yes, Phone does have it lost, but the hook could just come through and kind of cancel it out here. He has just used his flux, his hook, as the Coalescence, the flux is going to come out. So it's going to manage to get 2 kills there with his Death Blossom. This is looking great there. They're going to somehow manage to res him up. But C-Team's going to fall to Phone as he's popping off there. He's going to get hacked out of his hook, so he's not able to take down Phone, and this is looking great here so far for Mob Mentality.
Yeah, and you gotta give it to this guy, Phone. He's just so slippery when it comes to getting away with being this aggressive, because playing a Reaper against this so much CC that you have the Zed's hook and you had C-Team's Rock that could stun you from long range. He did a good job of just slipping around. Yeah, the entire time there was just no contest, and now they're just gonna rush the team.
Yeah, they're not even contest here at the end of second point, and they're just going to try to burst everybody down there. C-Team's going to get Team Active taken out. Zed soon to follow. With no tank line, they're just going to fall here relatively easily. They even pop the Coalescence here, but it doesn't really matter as they still have 4 ultimates.
Yep, and look at the time bank. 5 minutes. That's a long time, especially if you're bench right now and you're just literally getting pushed at the back of the corner at your last point. And look at that. I think this would be a good time to have a call to change the composition, because you don't have that many ultimates on board. So you could safely do a composition switch, but it doesn't look like they're really doing it. And just Bob gets just thrown out for some space. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, the team just gets D-Macked as well. The hack's going to come through onto Zed, but he's going to manage to stay up for now there. As Silver Tolls misses his entire volley on a person who was standing perfectly still. But it's one small mistake there. As on the side there, Kami's going to pop his EMP. But Silver Tolls is actually going to manage to dodge it there. So he's going to pop his Coalescence. That's Coalescence Transcendence. Keep everyone up for now.
Oh, no.
Chula with Steve the Bomb's going to manage to get 2 kills. But Nebula's starting to turn this there. He's going to manage to get 2 kills of his own before Red Knight's going to finish him off. Grippy's going to have his Sound Barrier there as well to try to keep everybody up for now. Zed's going to pop his hole and try to push everybody away. Try to get any kills that he can. Empty Grid's going to be returning to the point now on the Tracer as the Dragon Strike from Nebula is going to get thrown out to the point. Empty Grid's going to take down Red Knight, which is going to be massive there as Mob Mentality has now lost their main tank. And there's only a couple people here on the point. However, for the benches, players are starting to return, but Empty Grid's fall is not a good sign there. Silver Tolls is going to fall as well. Nebula is going to get taken down. C-Team really just needs to contest for as long as he can on this Wrecking Ball. Zed has come back now on this Hog, but C-Team's going to get hacked and taken down. And this is looking great here. If you're on the side of Mob Mentality, Diva Bomb's going to get thrown up on point. It's not going to get any kills, but it doesn't matter. Mob Mentality, I thought they were going to do it, but pesky Lucio there to touch the cart. And after they can finally take down these remaining players, can I say it? Nope, C-Team's still there, but Mob Mentality finally do it. They're just going to cap up all of Hollywood.
It's just, they just play so good together. The mashup from Mob Mentality coming in, they know exactly when to push and when not to push. And the biggest difference that I'm seeing from both teams right here, Mob Mentality knows how to adapt and change on the fly, and that's what's really keeping them or boosting them up in all these power rankings for teams right here. Because if we could do that, that's a huge advantage for you as a team, because Overwatch relies on changes, adaptation. That's why Overwatch allows you to change heroes in mid game, which is probably one of the least least amount of games that do that. And that really, if you could change your heroes in midway, you have a lot of potential of just changing heroes, counter picking them, or just changing on the fly. That's what they did. They realized they were running their opponent team, who are the bench, were running this composition where they like to play on long line sides, and they're like, okay, no problem, we'll just take the fight to you. They put Corpy back on the Lucio and just fought close quartered, and they win that because you have a monkey with a lot of health just tasing you down, while you have a very edgelord guy who's just pumping you with shotguns, killing you from any range, pretty much any close range. So I like what they're doing right now, and if you are the bench, you have to kind of match that, that change, that pace of changing, and just kind of keep matching this team of Mob Mentality. But it looks like they will stick to this whole double sniper feed composition, trying to get a pick, and Phone just out here doing so much damage with the damage boost and Mercy on his back.
Yeah, the hook's gonna come through onto Zed, but Seekins actually taken down instead of him. Phil with the opening pick there, he looks so good on this echo this entire series. That's a nice hook there, coming out from Zed, and Nebula's gonna hit the shot on the Phone as well, so they're gonna manage to get two opening picks there. Nebula's gonna get slept, but he's gonna wake up. Bro, Red Knight on the flanking Hog's gonna manage to get the hook onto them. Kami's gonna manage to get a kill as well, as on the Soldier, he's getting a fair amount of value as well there. The rest is gonna come through onto Nebula. So Bench are going to be back in this fight relatively soon, as Corpy's going to fall to Nebula, which could be a massive early pick. He cannot res that up because that is the Mercy. On the side here is where Bench are going to try to be pushing from. And that's looking great there. C-Team's going to get taken down, and Silvertoes fell low as well, but he's going to manage to stay up for now there. They're just going to kind of sit on the side there as the Hogs sent up the elevator onto the high ground there. Empty Grin's going to manage to get the kill on the Phone as well. But this is not looking good there. They're going to actually manage to rest up Silvertoes, but it looks like they're just going to want to back out here and maybe get a last fight here, but they're sticking around. They're going to throw the Dragon Strike there onto the point. Their C-Team is going to contest, but they actually managed to get that Corpy. True Dogger falls as well, so there's no backline here for the side of Mob Mentality. On the point, Jula's going to fall to C-Team, and this is looking great here as there's nobody really left. There's just the flanking Soldier who is flanked around to the high ground.
I think we'll still see a fight coming in, because look at that. They have
fight. He gets blown up. No value out of that, as they're going to return to the point right about now, but everybody's going to get blown up. The duplicate is there, but the Transcend is there to keep everybody up just for now. The anti-nade is decent, however, which means Empty Grid's going to fall. Silvertoe's going to fall as well. Oh no, Bench, not like this. They're all going to get taken down. They had this in the bag. They had every advantage possible, but it's just C-Team on the plate, and Mob Mentality are gonna hold.
Oh, I have to talk about the healers from Mob Mentality coming to the last fight. Corpy and True Donger just popped off the entire last fight. That anti-nade coming out from True Donger was so crucial. It landed on one of the DPS and one of the healers, so it allowed the Phone to just hover over them while, mind you, Silvertrail has a Transcendence going on, but if you're anti-healed, you take no healing whatsoever. So Phone just hover over them, just blasting them with all the blast cones he had, and killed them in a quick succession, which led up to Corpy just running around like a madman, just eliminating anybody they can. So healers really stepped it up from the side of Mob Mentality right there in the last fight, even though it looked so good coming out from the bench. They had it on the bag, but now looks like they're going for a little, fun. I think from the composition, I really hope they go with this composition, because I want to see it. It'll look pretty fun. Phone being on that Bastion, and you have Kami just sniping everybody across the map. So interesting, but they have a lot of time to work with. They only have to take, I believe, one and a half tick again.
They have to take two and a half ticks is what they.
Oh, two and a half. Yeah, 2.5 for 3 minutes. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, this is a very interesting defensive comp, especially because it took them less than a minute to cap the entirety of point A. There's a very comp here that the bench are rolling out on the defense with this McCree Hanzo.
That's again a lot of crossfire created from both DPS. So McCree does give you a little bit of safe net for the close combat, but it doesn't matter. Mob mentality want to go in right now and finish this off.
Yeah, they're going to try to push it aggressive. That's going to cost Red Knight his life here. Of course, McCree has had the recent buff that he now has 225 health there. As that's a nice shot from Nebula to take down Quirpy. And they're just going to push back Mob mentality, and they're going to hold here.
Yeah, that's about a minute burnt from the clock, I believe, if not a little bit less than that. But they have to regroup and come out with there again. And look at the ultimate differences. Zed already is 50%. Now, this Shatter, if he could build Shatter before anybody, this is a great chance they could win this, because Red Knight, if his bubble gets popped, that's an easy Shatter coming out from Zed.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to try to wrap around the side here. Is on the high ground, so putting in a lot of pressure there. But Fode's going to manage to get an opening pick there onto Nebula. That's massive. That's a lot of damage gone. Silvertall's ammo field's going to get blown up as well. As the Shatter is nice. It's going to hit a couple players on point, but it's going to cost Zed his life. That's one tick on the point there. This is not looking good. This looks like it's going to be it here. Everybody falling. And that's going to be it. Mob mentality are going to take the series 3-0.
You called it. Maybe, you know, they did go over it 8:30, but hey, it still was a 3-0, and it looked quite dominant coming out from Mob mentality. Nothing less expected from the first seed in the intermediate division. But look at that, a nice bomb from Jula, just really nailing the coffin right here with the double kill, eliminating Empty and C Team. That's a lot of threat gone from the side of the team bench. And just doing that, Phone gets the hero damage right here. And Mob mentality just looks so good, especially with the synergy that they have with Phone and Red Knight. I really feel like their DPS lineup and tank lineup just work and mesh so well. They know when to target someone, when to, you know, dive them, and how to target prioritize in different situations. And that's what's really pushing them ahead here. And other than that, a great series coming out. Bench did put up a fight, but not valiant enough to really give them the victory or even give them a map. So sadly, they will be staying at the bottom of the seed, where Mob mentality just go up and up. And right here, we have an interview coming out, and Joe, there's just one person whose name is just popping up left and right, and I think you know who it is. We need to bring it.
Well, I thought of two people, so I'm actually not sure who you're talking about. So this is where you're supposed to say the name, because I have no idea who you're talking about.
No problem. Phone. I think it's Phone. I have to go for Phone. I don't. Oh, what are your thoughts on that? Phone.
Yeah,
I think Phone has been a vital member of this Mob mentality. He's just doing so much work. They're just doing so much work coming in. So, what are your thoughts on that? Phone. Bring in Phone.
Phone, for sure. Really a great, played phenomenal throughout this entire series. On the Echo, on the Reaper, didn't really matter.
Whatever it was, he was there. And look at that, Phone does join us. And look at the chat. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can't see the players talk, but they're just saying it's the Phone show. And welcome back again, Phone. How does it feel to be back? And congratulations on the win.
It feels great. Feels great to be back on the interview desk floor, whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty sure I was here week 1, and now the last week of the season, of the regular season, I should say. I'm back again, and we just got last week we lost our first game, and then we bounced back with a 3-0. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, definitely some interesting stuff coming in. And even though we looked at the seed, we're talking about you guys are first seed playing a last seed, and we're saying that this will most likely be a landslide. There were times that the bench looked kind of strong. It looked kind of iffy until the whole disconnect thing happened with Pivot. So the first map, what are your thoughts? Because it looked really close. Like, were you guys nervous, or like what was the plan going into this?
First map, we knew that they like to play the Rein Zarya comps instead of the more divey tanks. So we kind of path around that. We saw that they went sim off the start. They messed up sim teleporter. We were able to capitalize on that. It was a majority of the fights that we had was just capitalizing off mistakes that they caused by themselves, like out of position, not focusing at target, and we were just able to capitalize on that, especially in those very close fights. For example, Hanamura and in any of the OT fights where we came in and clutched up. They weren't able to do that. We did, and that's honestly what I think was the big difference between us and them this game, was that we were able to clutch up fights when we needed to.
Yeah, definitely seen it was quite visible, and the fact that you guys could really make so many changes and just adapt on the fly was really something that stuck out to me. But I'm gonna hand it over to Joe. I'm pretty sure he has a question lined up for you that he wants to ask.
Yeah, definitely. So we saw you specifically run a bit of the Echo this series, mainly when you were opting to run some of those Hog Sigma comps. So I'm just wondering if you found that running the Echo with some of these Hog comps is more effective than running, say, like a Hanzo or a Widow.
I personally think that running the Echo is a lot more effective. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but I honestly, from what I've been playing recently, is that when going up against a Hog, especially in the Hog Sig comps, Echo is 100% more better than a traditional tank buster like Reaper or Hanzo, in my opinion, because Echo just has good mobility, verticality, very good burst damage, especially with the beam ability. So when we play these comps, I also, if you're watching like the alt charge that I basically am one or two alts ahead of like almost everyone else in the lobby, because Echo is just, you just do so much damage, especially in the poke phase where you're just able to sticky, then keep shooting and then beam someone when they're low and you force out cooldowns and all that stuff. I just feel like Echo gets a lot of value in this comp because they have to pay attention to you, otherwise you just roll them.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid take. And I have one last question for you. So next week you are taking on the Guangzhou Gangstas, who are also one of the top teams in intermediate. How are you feeling going into next week's match?
Feeling pretty good. It's gonna be a good game for sure. I don't really have too much to say about it. We're preparing for them this week. I feel like no matter what, it'll be a good series overall. They are currently winning their game against Capitalism, which I have to give props for, because that's something that we obviously did not do last week. But yeah, just going into next week, they're number 2 seed, we're number 1 seed. It'll be battle for number 1 seed in playoffs. I just don't really have that much to say about it right now.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's it for me. Unless you have anything else to add, I think we can let you go.
Nothing much really. I'm just like really glad to getting to see this team really grow because I don't know if you know, Phone, I did actually get to cast you guys when you guys played in the Smiley tournament a bunch of times. So that was really nice to see you guys just grow in a team over and over and just take the first seat as you guys are doing right now. And I'm really looking forward to the whole fight again, next week's fight. I hope I get to cast that. It will be really fun to watch. But other than that, that's it for us, at least in the interview desk. And it was really a fight that I would say like scripted, I guess. We knew that it was going to be a landslide, but other than that, I think both teams put up some great performance.
Script.
Yeah, but it just didn't go through, Well, other than that, I have to say thank you so much for everyone for sticking around, for watching the stream. And if you missed anything, if you joined late, make sure to go to the YouTube channel for League Zero. They always upload every single game, even the ones that are not casted or streamed, so you could always go catch up on your favorite team's games. Other than that, thank you so much to everybody. Good night and have a great weekend.